Yes, good morning, everyone. I'm Mugume Desi. I'm working under Sayan International Company Limited as a site engineer. I'm glad to be part of it today. Thank you.
Thank you, Jesse. Okay, Mr. Erasmus. Can you hear me? Mr. Erasmus? I think there is some problem. Is it? Okay, Mr. Roswa?
Yes, I'm hearing you well.
Okay. Good morning. Can you please introduce yourself?
Yes, good morning, everyone. My name is William Komakej. I'm from Rostwa Engineers Limited as a site engineer also. We are based in Entebbe.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're
Mr.
welcome.
Kiza Samuel, can you hear me? Mr. Samuel, can you hear me? Okay, I think there is a problem. Dinah, you there? Good morning. Is Dinah around? Can you hear me, Dinah?
Yes, please, I can hear you. Good morning.
Good morning, Dinah. Please introduce yourself.
Yes, I'm Naturine Diana from Rostwa Engineers. I'm a quantity surveyor, and I greet you all.
Thank you, Dinah, for this introduction. Well, just 2-3 minutes more. Till time we can talk to Chris. Hi, Chris. Good morning. Can you hear me? Mr. Chris, can you hear me? Chris Nibagama. Mr. Enoch, can you hear me? Good morning.
Good morning. I can hear you clearly.
Thank you, Mr. Enoch. Can you please introduce yourself?
Okay, thank you. My name is Enoch Ubuan. I work as a country engineer with an NGO in Uganda called the Water Trust. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Enoch. Mr. Bruce, can you hear me? Mr. Grace, Mr. Jeffrey,
Hello.
hello.
Hello, Grace here.
Yes, please. Introduce yourself, it is possible.
Oh, sure.
Maybe.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Grace. I am a construction manager. I worked for over 13 years now in construction management. So when I saw this, I was interested in getting to know more about what it's all about. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Grace. Thank you so much for this wonderful introduction. I hope we are about to start. Mansoor, are you ready? You there?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. So once again, good morning all. I hope you can see me. My name is Anjali Srivastav. I'm head of CAT Center, Uganda. I welcome you all for this orientation on Primavera P6. We are here with our trainer, Mr. Orientation on Primavera P6. Before that, would like to introduce about who we are, what is CAT Center. So let's start with this introduction and all.
Well, it's ever changing. We
technological triumphs, and scientific discoveries that propel opportunities and a dynamic new world is possible only through investment in nurturing creative and seeking young minds. In this realm, there has always been a forerunner in India, training young minds in holistic technical skill sets and imparting careers that define technology, industry, and commerce.
So this is a small introduction of CAT Center. CAT Center is a training company headquartered in Chennai, India, and we are established in 1988. So it's been 35 years. And we are the largest registered education provider of PMI, Project Management Institute, Pennsylvania, USA. So let's start with this project planning and management. And as per your introduction, what I have heard, all of you are the project managers, right? Please raise your hands if you are an experienced project managers. I hope you all can raise your hands. Is it okay? How many people around you? One, Mr. Enoch. Then only one person. I don't think so. So you are the project managers, right? Okay, great. 2, 3. Okay, no worries. Let's move forward with this. Before going ahead, okay, let's start with, I would like to be this session as an interactive one. You all are in projects, you are handling projects, you are the construction engineers, site engineers and all. What do you mean by a project? Anybody in this orientation who can answer me? What do you mean by a project? In just a layman language, not in a bookish language and all. Is there anybody? Please raise your hand so that I can talk to you accordingly. And unmute yourself. Just let me know. Anybody here? Dinah, can you? Hello. I'm audible to all. Mansoor, I'm audible.
Yes, you're audible.
So we are asking about what do you mean by a project, right? So let's start with this. Jesse, please let me know what do you mean by project? It's difficult to interact with you guys if it is not, you are not going to answer, but let's move ahead on this part. As you know that a project is a temporary endeavor undertaken to create a product, service or outcome. That is, it is a definite beginning and end. Means it has a start date and it has an end date. Objectives have been met. So with a start date and an end date, with the objectives in mind, we can go ahead to start with a project, to manage a project. This is what a project manager is doing, right? So let's start with something about introduction of project management. What do you mean by project management here? Right? So just check if you can see what is project management. Project management is the application of knowledge, skills, tools, and techniques. But most of the project will fail. It's about the people getting things done, right? So this is a breakdown of project management. 5 phases. and is in demand. Many industries and in verticals. You can see the expected growth, and most of the time it pays well. The project manager's salary, it was in 2009, now it has been raised. But it's not about all roses. You know that, right? The cost of bad project management can be high. This is the reason of failures of project management. So the IT failure rate, 15% to 25%, with the loss of 50 billion to 150 billion. You can see from these reports, reason of failure. 5 main reasons, but the important is project management, 54%. You can see this. So what do you need to succeed? Become a successful project manager, you need to apply knowledge, skills, and the right tools. That's us. Right? So we have seen 2 things about this. We need to go through about project management standards, certifications, and the right tools. So what actually project management is? Application of knowledge, skills, right tools with right techniques, with the right activities gives us a successful project management. Then there are standards, if we can go for it. The worldwide project planning and management users use 3 main standards. One is the PMI, Project Management Institute, which is used in US and global. It has a global recognition. Prince2 standards used by mainly by Britishers, and IPMA standards mainly used in European Union. If you can see the percentage of the people who are using these standards, PMI is used by 78%. Prince2, 19%, and IPMA is used by 3%. So these are different standards, but what are the tools? There are some tools, and we are going for the tools now. Basically, this orientation is based on the tools. So what is a project management tool is? A tool or a project management tool helps project managers and teams to collaborate and meet goals on time while managing resources and cost. Is there anybody who can give me an example of a project management tool? In this? Jesse, can you? Your hand is already raised. Any example of project management tool?
We have a MS Project.
MS Project, yes, great. And yes, what you can do with MS Project? With the right tools, applied at the right time, we can do task distribution, time tracking, budgeting, resource planning, team collaboration, and many more, right? So let's go for in detail about the project management tools. So there are 2 main tools which we are using. First is Primavera, another is Microsoft Project. So the Primavera, we for multiple users. Microsoft Project is for single user and simpler projects, right? So let's start with the introduction of Primavera. Primavera was launched in 1983 by Primavera Systems, and it acquired by Oracle Solutions in 2008. That's why we know it like Oracle Primavera P6. In all aspects, basically. Main industry which is using Primavera P6 is civil, mechanical, electrical. And what we can do with Primavera to promote agility and productivity in an organization. You can see it includes different aspects. First is the project management, product management, collaboration, control capabilities, integration with enterprise software, right? And now there are different benefits of using Primavera. If we use failures or the reasons of project management failure or project failure, there is a cost overrun. So with the help of Primavera, we can decrease overrun scheduled cost. It will reduce risk. It's a globally used software tool that can optimize resource management and quick and easy prediction of activities or projects. Here are some industries where we can use Primavera. It's not some, it's too much. You can see almost every aspect: engineering and construction, aerospace and defense, utilities, oil and gas, chemical, industrial manufacturing, automotive, financial services, government, healthcare, travel and transport, communication. So these are some industries where we can use Primavera. And these are heavy project based, means where we are using complex projects. So now, Mansoor, please, I am handed over to you so that you can go ahead with the practical demonstration of Primavera. Is it okay? Mansoor?
Yes, I'm there.
Okay, please. You can share your screen now. I'm stop sharing. Till time, anyone who is there, who is attending this orientation, I request, please share your attendance with your name, email ID, phone number, and the organization in which you are working. Please share in the chat box so that we can send you a participation certificate on behalf of this Primavera P6 orientation. Thank you so much. Mansoor, you can share.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I'm seeing.
All right, thank you. Yeah, so my name is Sentong Mansoor. I'm a trainer for Microsoft Project, Primavera, and other software at CAD Center. Yeah, so I'll be taking you through a practical demo about Primavera and how you can use it in project management. Yeah, but before we go to that, you could be having some questions about the differences between MS Project and Primavera. Yeah, so the main difference between Microsoft Project and Primavera is that Microsoft Project is mostly used for only project management. If you have a single project that you want to manage, that's where MS Project can be good. But in case you have multiple projects, yeah, so if you have multiple projects, those ones are they are called a program. So if you're managing a program, you need to employ Primavera instead of MS Project. Then also you can have multiple programs. Let's say it's a government program of construction of schools. Then also they have another program, but they want to manage all of the programs in a single place. Then there also Primavera does well than MS Project. Yeah, then other differences are like technical, the way the data is saved. For MS Project, it is saved in a single file. And for every project, you have to open up a file. So those that have tried to use MS Project, of course, you can say it has a feature of sub projects where you can manage, let's say, 2 projects in a single file, but also those other 2 projects, they need a separate file. Yeah, but for Primavera, it stores all the information in a database. So When it comes to storage of information, MS project, it is file-based. Then Primavera, it's database-based. And you can integrate it with your existing database management systems in the organization. Yeah, then I may not go through every point, but like I said, the main difference is what MS project can handle, but Primavera handles more than what MS project can handle. So in case you're going to have more than a single project that you want to manage, then there you need to employ Primavera instead of MS project. Then there are also some other features that are missing in MS project and they are available in Primavera. Yeah, so those are some of the differences. Others, these are just technical. How many columns can you have? How it handles work breakdown structure. So it's just trying to compare the features, but what you should know, Primavera is more powerful than MS project. Yeah. So any questions on this before we start a practical demo? Okay, if there is no question, we can get started with our practical demo. Yeah, so when you install Primavera on your computer, yes, Samuel, you have a question.
Good morning, everyone. My question is about, I think, what you're going to talk about installation of the software.
Okay. Yeah, so when you enrolled into a program, we install for you the software before we start the classes. All right, so when Primavera is installed on your computer, it's not called Primavera like on the computer. It is called P6 Professional. Yeah, that is like the technical name. Yeah, so like we said, it's a database management system. Like it stores everything in a database. Yeah, and always that database will require you to set a password. Yeah, so on security bit of it, that can also be an advantage that not everyone will be, even if they have access to your computer, they're not going to be able to access the project details and everything. Yeah, so the password is set as you do in the installation. So I already have one. So I'm going to put in the password, then it will connect to the database where it stores the information and it will open. Yeah, so when we open Primavera P6, yeah, this is how the interface looks like. So I'm just going to go into what it can do. Like, we're not going to go so much in detail, but I'm just going to show you what it is capable of doing. Yeah, first of all, you need to first set the software to your industry that you're working in. So that is done by going to the admin, then you go to admin preferences, then there's a section of industry. Yeah, so from here, these are the industries that you can choose from. There's engineering and construction, which most of us are involved in. Then there's government, aerospace and defense. There's high technology, manufacturing and others. Then utilities, oil and gas. So it depends on the industry in which you're working on. Then if, let's say, I'm working in utilities, oil and gas, you can select that, then you click on cross. Yeah, so some of the noticeable differences you will see in Primavera interface and MS project interface is in Primavera, we don't need to save. Like, most of the things get saved automatically into the database. So you rarely see a save button in Primavera. Everything will be saved in the database automatically. So you don't need to worry about saving your information. Yeah, so once you're done selecting, then you just click on cross. Then it will warn you that it's going to change the industry. Then you can click OK. Yeah, then it will load. It doesn't change much on the interface, but it gets to understand the industry that you're working in. Yeah, and there's a way it changes a little bit on how to handle things. Yeah, so once you're done with that, of course, there are very many other like settings, but we can't go through all of them right now. But industry is one of them. Then once you're done with that, another thing that you may want to take note of is the currency that you're using. Yeah. So in the project, let's say it may be a project in Uganda, but when you're using US dollar as the currency. Yeah. So that one, we set it also by going to admin, then you go to currencies. Yeah. So from here, you can see the existing currencies. Yeah. So Ugandan shillings don't come part of the software when you've just installed it. You need to add it by yourself. So with that one, you just click on add. Then you add the currency ID, or like just a short form. Yeah, so I already have UGX, so I'm going to use UGHS. Then I can give it a name. Yeah, so I'm going to stop on that. There's also another one which is existing. So I'm going to use that symbol. Then the exchange rate. Now the dollar comes as the base currency for this software since it is made in America. So you have to write the exchange rate versus the dollar, like how much of those shillings or of that currency that you have in just $1. So this is important because in case you've done the project in dollars, but you want to just convert and see how much Ugandan shillings are there in the different activities and everything, it will be able to translate with the exchange rate and give you the right figure. Yeah, so maybe we can use 3750 just for the demo. Yeah, showing that there is 3,750 Ugandan shillings in $1. Yeah, then number of decimal places, since we don't use cents and all that, the decimal places may not be important. So with this one, we can put it to 0. Then other things can be okay, and you just click close. Like we said, you don't have to click save. So you click close. Then to finally set it, you come to edit. Yeah, then user preferences. And you come to currency. Then you click here to get different options and you look for your currency. So the one we've just created is this one. You double click on it, then you click on close. Yeah, so now when we create a new project, all these settings I'm doing, I've not yet created a project. So you want the project to adopt all of them. Yeah, when you start a project and you start making changes in settings, you may forget them. So it is better that you do the changes like currencies, the industry, also the calendar, like we're going to shortly see. Then you create a new project. So it will adopt with the settings that you already have. So once we're done with the currency, another thing we may want to look into is the calendar. Like we said, before we create the project, we need to do a little bit more settings. Yeah, so with a calendar, we go to enterprise, then you go to calendars. Then from there, you're going to find existing calendars, which are there. Yeah, the corporate standard full-time calendar is the default like calendar or the standard calendar. The one of 8 hours a day and 5 days in a week. Yeah, so it is this one, but you can create a new one. So in case we want to create a new one, you just click on add. Then it does not allow you to totally fully create a calendar from scratch, because that means you will have to create your own days and let's say hours and weeks and all that. So you have to make a copy of one of the existing. So I'm going to make a copy from corporate standard full-time. Just double click, then I give it a name. So I'm going to call it demo calendar. Yeah, so this demo calendar, let me make it default so that I just need to double click here to make it default so that when I create a project, it adopts this calendar. Yeah, so this, since it is a copy of corporate standard full-time, it means that it is exactly looking like corporate standard full-time. So in case I want to do modifications, I just click on modify. Then from here, we can see that one Sunday is taken as the first day of the week. We can change that in admin settings, but we can leave it for now. Then it can show us which is the ones where you're seeing not light blue, those are working like days. Then where are you seeing light blue, those are exceptional days, like they are non-working days. So you can make modifications to all of this. Let's say you want to make Sunday also a working day. All you have to do, you go to detailed work hours per day, then you come to work week. Then from here, you can go into setting, let's say for Monday, I want the work to start from this time up to the other time. So like here, it is showing that work is starting from 7 up to 5. So in case you need on Monday work to start at 8, you can just click this bar is represent 30 minutes. Yeah, then I just click on non-work. Then also here, then I click on non-work. Then I press OK. So there it has cut 1 hour from Monday. If you go to total work hours per day and we click on work week, we can see that Monday is now 9 hours, though previous it was 10 hours. Then we have Tuesday 8 hours, Wednesday 8 hours. Yeah, so with this, I'm just trying to show you that you can set up the calendar in your own way. Maybe you don't want any work to happen on Saturday. You again come back, detailed work hours per day. Click on work week. You go to Saturday. Then you make all these non-work. And you press OK. OK. So when we come back, you see that also Saturday is a non-working day. Yeah, so all the Saturdays, even if I go to which month, they are non-working days. Then in case there is a public holiday, let's say 9th October. Okay, and already, yeah, it will look like this, 9th October, and you want to show that there is no work on 9th October. All you have to do is select it, then you click on non-work. So when it comes to your schedule, it will jump that day, meaning it's a public holiday. So if there is an activity that's supposed to happen, starting, let's say, from Monday to Wednesday, and you know that no one is going to show up for work, it will have to jump it so that the work starts on Tuesday. So you have to remove all those non-working days. Let's say it's public holiday, maybe for some reasons your company doesn't work on some days. So you remove all of them before you start the project. Then once you're done, you can click OK, and you're done setting up your calendar. Then now we are going to be able to go to the next steps. Yeah. So what is different from Primavera, which you won't find in MS Project, is some of the features or some of the tools which are here. So one, we have what they call enterprise project structure. So I'm going to go to enterprise, then enterprise project structure. So this one allows you to arrange your company in different, let's call them departments. They are called EPS nodes. Yeah, so with this one, when your company is dealing in more than one field, let's say you're not only constructing roads, you also do buildings, you also do dams, or even involved in energy. So it allows you to arrange your organization in different ways so that when you create a project, you can be able to attach it to a certain department or an EPS node. Yeah, so these are some of the existing. They are just 2 organizations in here. I have enterprise, then there's MK Engineering Company Limited. Yeah, so I can add another company. Then I use these arrows to help me indent. I want it to be on the same level as these other companies. So we can see they are all on the same level. Then let me just call it demo company. Yep, it is here. So from this, I can be able to create those departments that we've talked about. Yeah, so I'm going to add 2 departments. This one is for roads. then it needs the ID. You don't have to worry about the ID. It's just being used by the software. So for you, worry about the name. Yeah, then we have buildings. That one already exists. Let's call it building. Just like that. So in case you have, let's say, below roads construction, you have also departments in different, let's say, locations. Yeah, so we want to show that below roads, we have also other sub-departments. So we can have, let's say, Northern Uganda. Maybe you do North and East. Just an example. Yeah, so now our company, we've divided it into two departments, that is roads and buildings. Then before roads, we can have the roads which are done in Northern Uganda, then also the roads which are done in Eastern Uganda. Yeah, so when you create a project, you'll be able to associate it with one of the departments. Let's say we've got construction of, reconstruction of Gulu Highway. So that one, you want to put it on Northern Uganda. So when you create it, you'll have to select an EPS node that it belongs here. Yeah. Then another thing is, of course, now I've arranged my company, departments and sub-departments. Then all these will need people who are in charge. And that one, Primavera uses a tool which is called organization breakdown structure. So that one shows the people who are responsible. Yeah, so let's also look at that just shortly. Admin, we go to enterprise, then OBS. And then from here, we're going to add a new OBS. You just click on add. Yeah, then let me move it down. Then this is going to be OBS for the demo company. Yeah, then I'm going to add different nodes. So I have the managing director. Then I'm going to indent that. Then below the managing director, now you see the other two departments. We had one for road. So that one we shall need a person in charge. So I'm going to call them lead roads construction. Then I'm going to also add another one, is also lead building construction. Yeah, then below roads, we had two for the places. So we had one for Northern Uganda, then also we had another one for Eastern Uganda. So we'll say lead Northern Uganda. So these are people responsible for those departments and sub-departments. Yeah, so once I'm done with this, I'm going to close it. Then I come back to my enterprise. Then I can start merging. For example, demo company limited. Then I can see down here, there's EPS ID and the name, which you've already filled. Then there's part of responsible manager. So it is from here that we pick from the organization breakdown structure. So I click on this. Then I look for the person who is in charge. So we have the managing director who is in charge. It wants you, then you press yes. Then you go to roads and you select who is in charge of roads. So we have lead, roads construction. Then for Northern Uganda, you do the same thing. You go to leads, road construction, Northern Uganda. Yeah, then Eastern Uganda, same thing. Lead, Eastern Uganda. Yeah, then we also have building construction. So this building construction, we go and put the lead or the head of building construction. Yeah, so that one we're done with the enterprise project structure and the organization breakdown structure. So the organization breakdown structure just shows who is in charge or is the head of every department or every EPS node. Yeah, so after doing all this, now we are ready to create a new project. So when you create a new project, one, it will take our calendar that we created because we made it default. Two, it will ask us where does it fall on our EPS, so we shall place it in the right position. Then after that, there will be more other settings to make as we're going to see. Yeah, but you need to do this before you start a new project. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So now we can start on a new project. I'm going to do the demo, then you can send in your questions in the chat. I'll be able to answer them after. So to create a new project, before we even create a new project, this shows us all the project or all the enterprises which are in the organization. We get this by clicking here on projects. Then we can see also ours is there, this demo construction limited, company limited. We have these departments. We have the roads department, which is further breakdown into the northern Uganda and eastern Uganda. Then we also have the department for building projects. So we're going to create a project, and let's put it under buildings. Let's say it's a proposed commercial building in Kampala. Yeah, so I'll just click on file, then I click on new. Yeah, then it will ask me, select the EPS here. So it is asking me for this project I'm creating, where does it belong? So I click here, then I look for my organization, which is Demo Company Limited, then it belongs to this. I double click here, or I can click once, then click here and select. So we can see it has been given. This is where the project is going to go, where it's building projects, and I can click next. It needs to have a project ID. That one is just for the software, but let's call it, okay, let me call it Plaza. Then yeah, then I'm going to, the name is a proposed construction of a commercial building in Kampala. Yeah. Then I click next. Yeah, so on this screen, it needs a start and end date. Now, we provide, what is mandatory is for you to provide the project planned start. Like, when are you planning to start that project? So now it is picking from the date on the computer, but we know that in most cases you do this when the project is just going to start forward, unless otherwise. So let's say the project is going to start on 1st November. Yeah, here. I just use these arrows to navigate the calendar. So I double click on 1st November 2023. Then this is like a deadline. No, it's optional to put. But on some project, let's say the government project, maybe they need that building for something or a conference that is happening. You may have to work against a certain deadline. So that's when you put a must finish by date, so that you schedule activities within those dates. The moment you schedule them outside the date, that deadline, then the software will be able to warn you. Yeah, but for now, we're not going to put the deadline. We're just going to leave it free. Then I go to next. So we can see that automatically it has been able to know who is responsible. So you can see responsible manager is the lead building construction for the demo company. Then I can click next. Yeah, then the rate type, you can default the standard rate, click next, then we click finish. So with that one, we've created the project, and you can see it has come here. It is below building project. So if you create another project that is part of roads, it will also show up below roads, maybe below north or east, or it can even be above all of them that doesn't belong to north, doesn't belong to east, but it is part of roads construction. Yeah, so once I'm done, I'm going to come back here, right click, I go to open project, then it's going to open the project. Yeah, then the next thing that we need to do is creating a work breakdown structure for our project. Yeah, so do this thing. Okay, the project has opened. I just need to change the view. Yeah, so work breakdown structure is the way of you breaking down the project activities into different phases or WBS levels, as we're going to see. So I've been going to enterprise and I pick the settings. So those are things that apply to an entire enterprise, not only the project. But if I want to do settings that applicable to that particular project, I come to the project tab, then I'm going to go to WBS. Yeah, so this is where I'm going to create my work breakdown structure. So for building construction, we're going to right click here, then you press add, meaning that we are adding a WBS level. So we shall have preliminaries. Then after that, we're going to have just an example, substructure. You may have a different WBS. Substructure, then superstructure. Yeah. So this is possible that you further divide it into different phases. Maybe for substructure, you have phase 1 and phase 2, or for preliminaries, you can further group them. You just need to indent them. Let's try to do that. Could say phase 1. Then I'm going to add another one. I call it phase 2. Yeah, so you can see phase 1 and phase 2 are below substructure, but the main WBS levels we have preliminaries, substructure, superstructure. Yeah, so this is a work breakdown structure. Once you're done with this, then you put activities. So we're going to enter the activities by going to project, then activities. So Primavera works in tabs. You can see here I'm under WBS, then here I'm under activities. So when I right click, when I'm under WBS, it's going to add the WBS level. But when I right click, when I'm on the tab of activities, it's going to add an activity. So I have to be very keen and very careful with which tab you are in. So right now I'm in activities tab, then I'm going to start adding activities. Yeah, so I'm going to select the WBS level that I want to add activities on. Then I right click, then I select add. I type in the activity name. So I'm going to call it commencement of the project. Yeah, now you can see automatically, and the original duration is the estimated duration that you're going to take. It's already selecting 5, but this is done from admin preferences. It has a provision of, when you go to general, it has a provision of you putting the default duration. So it is by default set to 5, but you can change it to like 1. That means in case you don't put any duration, that's what it's going to go with. Yeah, then it is from here that you can also change the first day of the week from Sunday to Monday. Yeah, then you can click close. Okay, but it's better you do that before you create a new project. Then we shall modify the durations later on. Let's first add the activities. I go back, click on preliminaries, then I click on add. Then we shall have the feasibility studies. I'll have the sectorial designs. Then you can have the structure designs. And have approval of designs. So you can see it is picking the default 1 day of duration. We shall come back and change the duration. Then maybe under substructure, below phase 1, we have activities like site mobilization. Let's just start with a site strip clearing and grabbing. Then we have site stripping. Yeah, and many more. I'm just going to end there. Now, below these activities, there are different types. So commencement of the project is not an activity. We're going to take it as a milestone, like it just marks that the project has started. So it doesn't need a duration since it is a milestone. But in Primavera, you don't need to change the duration to 0. You just come to general, then you go to activity tab and you look for start milestone. So that means just marks the start of the project. So you can see the duration has gone back to 0. Then it has only the field under the start date, the estimated start date. There's no date under finish date because it's just a milestone. It doesn't require duration and doesn't take any resources. Yeah, so you can go to feasibility studies and you put the duration that you expect to take. Maybe you will take 18 days for that. Architectural designs, maybe this is going to take you 20 days. Structural designs, let's say 15. Approval of designs, 10. Just an estimate clearing and grabbing, 3. Site stripping, let's say 4. So you can see every time I add something here on the right, there's what they call a Gantt chart, which is a visual representation of what we have here. Yeah, so I'm just going to show you one more last thing, that is creating the relationship between the activities. Yeah, so you can see all of them are now starting on the same date. We can come and change the start date, but that is not, it's not good. Why? Because there you kind of like putting a condition that this activity should start on this date. But in case there is a relationship and you know that once the project commences, I should go to feasibility studies. Once they are done, I go to architectural designs. Or maybe they run concurrently. Yeah, so you should just create a relationship between activities so that you don't limit or you don't manually put the start date. Yeah, why relationships are important in activities? Let's say I have architectural designs that depend on feasibility studies. I can see feasibility studies are ending on 24th November. Now that means I need to start my architectural designs either 25th, or it is possible that I start a little bit earlier, but I can't start them before the feasibility studies because I'll need the results from the feasibility studies. So in case feasibility studies are delayed, let's say by 1 month, maybe you don't have access to something, or the client has said, let's fast hold on. All these activities need to push forward the moment you change the date of feasibility studies. If you've not created a relationship with them, it means that you have to manually go and change all of them the moment one of the activity is delayed back. But when there is a relationship, they will just automatically shift forward. Once one is delayed, the other ones that are coming up next will just shift forward. So how do you create relationships? You come to the activity. Then below this is called activity dialog, activity details dialog. There is predecessors tab, which allows us to put a predecessor. A predecessor is an activity that needs to come first before this. So like before feasibility studies, the project should have commenced. Yeah, much as it's a milestone, but I can join into feasibility studies. So I just click on assign, then I select commencement of the project. So you see an arrow connecting that the moment you're done with commencement of the project, you're just going to start feasibility studies. Then I want to connect that. This is not usually how projects are done, that you do an activity and wait for another one, no, but just for experimental purposes, that's what we're going to assume. But you can be doing 2 or even 3 more activities at the same time. Yeah, so I'm going to show that architectural designs, they depend on feasibility studies. So under activities, I'm going to select architectural designs. Then on the tab of assign predecessor, I'm going to assign feasibility studies. So you can see that this is now coming after feasibility studies. Then I start architectural designs, structural drawing, the structure design, depending on architectural. Then approval may depend on the completion of structures. Clearing and grabbing maybe after approval. Then site stripping after clearing and grabbing. Yeah, so I've done it in that way, but it's not always like this. Yeah. Then another thing is you can run these concurrent, or they can have different relationship types. For example, if I want to show that the relationship between feasibility studies and architectural designs, they run concurrently. How do I do that? I go to architectural designs, then I can see it is depending on feasibility studies. Then there is a the relations tab here that allows me to change the type of relationship which is there. So by default, it is set to finish to start, but I want to put it to start to start. So if I change it to start, you're going to see this is pushing to start on the same date as architectural designs. Yeah, then this lag, the lead and lag time, we shall not go in detail with that, but it is possible those that have done schedules, you need to put some lead and lag time between some activities. Yeah, so what we are talking about, if let's say feasibility studies, you realize 18 days are not enough, let's do 25, and I press enter. Yeah, so if let's do it on this, which is finish to start. Structural design depend on architectural. I want to change the duration from 20 to 25. You see that all these ones are pushing forward. Yeah, because this has been delayed. Even if I change this and I say it is not going to take 15 days, it's going to take 20. So we can watch here. I press enter. So you're going to see all these are being pushed forward. Yeah, so if you don't create a relationships, it will be hard for you to create a good schedule. Yeah, because if structural designs have been delayed, you cannot take for approval. So if you fix the date of approval of designs to be in November, yet the structural designs are going to get completed in December, then that doesn't make sense. So you give room for creating errors. Yeah, but when you use relationships, you go away with those errors. You just have to show that this activity depends on this one, and this is the type of relationship they have among them. Either it is a finish to start, finish to finish, start to start. Yeah, so that's how you can come up with a schedule. Yeah, other things that we're not going to go in detail that I'm just going to show you is you can do resource management in Primavera. I can come to enterprise, then I go to resources. Yeah, so from here, I can add, right click and select add. I can add different resources. As you can see, there are some that I already have, already coming with a software. And this can be in different types. We have the labor resources, those are the people. Then we have non-labor, which is for equipment. Then we have materials. So we can add all our resources here. Then after adding them, we can go and assign them to the activities. That's where the cost of the project comes from. Yeah. So for example, on a cement here, I can come here below the details dialog. Then there is general, where I input the general information about the resource. But when I come to details, you can see I can change the unit of measure. Like, how do I want to measure cement? Let's say I want to measure it in tons. I can change that. Then when I come to units and prices, I can put the cost per ton. If let's say it is 20 million, per ton. You can see it is getting the currency that we used. Yeah. Then when I come to activities and I see an activity, right now there is none, but let's just assume I can add it here. Let me add it superstructure. I call it walling. Going to take 20 days. So on walling, I realize that I'll need cement. Yeah, so I come below here and I go to resources tab. I click add resource. Then I look for cement. Yeah. Then I type in how many tons. Remember, we changed it from bags to tons, but you can use kilograms, anything, any unit you're comfortable with. So right now, for it, it defers to time. If it's going to take 20, it just gets 20 times 8, but that is not a correct calculation for the material. It works on neighbor and non-neighbor, but for material, it is different. We need to type in the exact, because now we're using tons, the exact tons that you need. Maybe we need 3 tons to do walling. So when it reaches on you generating the cost of the project, on walling, it will have cement of 3 tons. So it will get 3 times the cost of 1 ton. Then another one, you may find that you need people to do this. So I can click on add resource. Then I can assign a mason. Then I can also get one of the engineers. So also these, they are having their rates. If we come back to resources and we check on one of the people, they are having their rates per hour. So this one is paid 10,135 shillings per hour. So when we come to the activity and we've assigned them to do that activity, it will get the standard rate. Let's say it is 10,000 per hour, multiplies by the total hours that are going to be taken during that activity. Like this is going to take 20 days. So if those days you're working 8 hours per day, that becomes 160 hours. So 160 hours, then it multiplies by the rate you pay that person. So that is also a cost. So when you assign resources onto different activities, that's where the money for that project, that's where you can be able to estimate the cost of the project. Yeah, most of the cost of a project comes from resources, then others are added as expenses. There are some which are just expenses and they are not resources, like utilities, electricity, maybe fuel. Yeah, so those ones are added as expenses. So now that also already shows you that Primavera can now help you in estimating the cost of the project. Yeah, so that is resources. There is also provision to add just roles. For resources, we mention people's names, but for roles, we just mention titles. So there are scenarios where you know that I'll need a civil engineer, but you don't know which civil engineer, or you've not yet hired. It doesn't stop you from doing the schedule. You can just create a role. Then after creating it, you come here to add role. Then you add that particular role. So whichever person that comes and occupies that role will be the one responsible for that. Yeah, so that is about resources. Yeah, so I'm going to stop there on the practical demo. Then I'm going to show you the syllabus, and I can take on some of the questions that you could be having. Yeah, so if you take Primavera Complete, this is how the syllabus looks like. We'll go through the introduction about project management. Yeah, then introduction Primavera. Yeah, then we look at calendars, the different types of calendars. There's something else we've not looked at. It's called time scale. Then after that, we create a project. Then we do a work breakdown structure, a detailed one. Then we also create a template for work breakdown structure, so that sometimes later, if you have a similar project, you can just use that template. Yeah, then after that, we dive deep into activities, how you add activities, how you assign different calendars to different activities, deleting activities in case you need to. Yeah, and the different methods of creating activities. Right now, I've just showed you one. Then we dive deep into relationships, the types of relationships, how do you apply lead and lag time. Yeah, then we now do a full schedule, a detailed one. Yeah, then after doing the detailed schedule, we can be able to recognize a critical path. Yeah, then after that, we look into constraints in detail. The constraints, like the conditions you put on an activity, that this should start by this date, or the deadline is one of the constraints. Then we look at activity codes. Activity codes, different ways of you organizing your activity rather than using WBS. You can organize them according to, let's say, location or even subcontractor. So if it's a big road project, you can have 4 subcontractors doing different activities. So what you do, you have a full schedule of the entire project. Then you create an activity code called subcontractor, and you add different subcontractors onto that. Then you start assigning activities to different subcontractors. So now that gives you the morale to, or the potential to track every subcontractor separately. So you just need to change the view of how the project shows. Instead of WBS, it shows subcontractors. Then you can be able to tell how far they have moved. Yeah, then roles, we've not created roles. Yeah, but we look at roles and resources. We've looked at the resources, but not in detail. Then we go into resource analysis. So resource analysis and leveling, that's where you look into some of the activities that you've given a lot of resources and maybe they don't need them. Then there are others that are lacking. Then also you realize that this activity is going to delay the project, especially if it's a critical activity and you need the project maybe to finish a little bit earlier. So you may need to add more resources so that you can finish some of the activities faster, so that you complete either in time or you beat the deadline. So all that comes under resource analysis and labeling. Then after that, we go into baseline. So when you've finished doing the entire schedule, you set what they call a baseline. A baseline is like point of reference or your initial plan. So if you've completed the schedule and all the different stakeholders have agreed that this is what we're going to follow, you have to set it as a baseline. Then later on, when you start, when the project starts, you start updating the progress. So as you progress, you'll be able to compare your progress versus the initial plan. So with that one, you'll be able to analyze or know your performance. Yeah, then after that, we look at tracking. How do you track the progress of the project? We look at issues and thresholds, user-defined fields. There are some custom fields that you can add in Primavera. Then you also look at generating reports. So as you move on, you need to generate reports. Maybe you need reports about costs. You need reports about anything you want, maybe activities, risks. Yeah, then we also look at budgeting. How do you manage budgets, funding sources, expenses, risk management? Yeah, Primavera is capable of doing risk management, not at a very nitty-gritty, but you can provide it that there's a risk of this and give it a probability of that risk happening. Then it can show you the cost, the cost you may incur. Let's say there's going to be rain. So what's the possibility of rain happening? Maybe it is 50%. So to be able to tell you before, if it doesn't happen, this is how much you're going to spend on the activities. Then if it happens, this is the extra, or you're going to end up, it's going to cost you this much. So it may be cost in terms of time, but you know, when you have cost in terms of time, sometimes it transfers to money. Yeah, then there is also cost accounts. There is adding WPS. These are work product documents. Yeah, then there's also what they call P6 visualizer that helps you to visualize the project in different ways. Then we end by looking at importing and exporting your project, different software like MSP. You can export to MSP, also you can import from MSP to Primavera. Yeah, so I'm going to take on some of the few questions we have. Then after that, we can go back to Madam Wanjai. So do we have any questions?
Yes, my name is Alex.
Yes, please.
Sorry, I came in a bit late, but what I wanted to know is what could be the difference between this Primavera and then MSP?
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, you came in late, but we talked about that. But I'm going to say the general difference is Microsoft project is better used in just when you have a single project. Yeah, but Primavera can help you to handle multiple projects, then even programs. Programs are like collection of projects. Then also an entire portfolio that you have different government programs that need to be managed in one place, creating a portfolio. So Primavera can be used there. So in most cases, when you say that you're going to manage more than one project, then they opt for Primavera. But if you're just going to manage just a single project, MS project can be good at that. Then these are some of the differences, but some are just technical, showing you how many columns it can support, how it saves the files in the WBS levels. But the main difference is Primavera is a bit more powerful than MS projects, especially when you're dealing with huge or a lot of projects.
Thank you. It's clear on my side now.
All right. Okay, any other question? If you have a question, you can unmute and you ask.
Hello, everyone. It's Anjali again. I hope you got the orientation. Would like to know if there is any questions from your side. Please ask your questions. We are here to give you the questions on that part, answers your queries. Any questions about orientation, about course, please let us know.
Maybe the cost. The cost.
I am giving you the details on that part.
Okay.
Okay. Right. Mansoor, please help me in sharing the screen.
I'll stop sharing. You can share.
Okay, thank you. Just straight. Okay. From the CAT Center, as Mansoor informed you about the syllabus and all, we have two types of courses for Primavera. We can just see these are the courses offered by CAT Center. There is one certificate course in Primavera Foundation, whose duration is 40 hours. The number of sessions is 10 sessions of 2 hours per session. Then there is a certificate course in Primavera Complete, whose duration is 60 hours. It means 15 sessions of 2 hours, and the fees is there. Right? Are from industry. This entire training is available both online and physical. Plus, you will get the project work on real-life industrial scenarios and products, including international evaluation and assessment from CAT Center India. What would be the deliverables after each course? There is a student version of the software, which is going to be installed freely on your systems, with an internationally acclaimed e-courseware and international certification from CAT Center India. If it is in case of online, then you will receive the recording of the class for future reference, and there would be a post-training support by the trainer. So these would be the deliverables. I hope about the course, their cost, their duration, and the deliverables, everything is clear. Anything else you would like to know? Please let me know.
Yes, I have an inquiry.
Yes, please.
So if we would like to receive the training as a company, like maybe 4-5 people, is it that everyone should pay that separate, or you can have a separate arrangement?
See, we can do, if it is from company, you can just contact us, right? And is it Dinah, right? Dinah?
Yes, please, it's Dana.
Yeah, Dinah. If you are paying through the company, you can pay by the company, right? If you would like to pay separate as an individual, you can pay as an individual. And there is like the proposed batch for the Primavera is on this 14th of October, right? So Saturday, Sunday, we are providing Saturday, Sunday batches, even weekend batches, weekdays batches, in the evening batches. Just let us know if some people are coming in a group and they want, like 5 people are there and they would like to go for a customized batch, whether it's an evening batch, whether it's a weekday batch, we can arrange accordingly.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dinah. Anybody else who would like to know anything? Any questions?
This is Alex again. Maybe more clarification on the two, because you categorize the two into two courses. There's the 40 hours and the 60 hours. About the 40 and the 60 hours, I didn't get it well.
Mr. Alex, the foundations means the basics of Primavera is covered in this course, right? So that's why it is 40 hours and there would be 10 sessions on that part. The Primavera Complete having some advanced things. So we can share the syllabus with you of these courses. Like if Mansoor, you have that syllabus on your screen, right? Mansoor,
I have it.
And you can better explain the difference between the two, that the advanced techniques which are in Primavera Complete, they are not in the Primavera Foundation, right?
Yes.
Please explain.
Okay. Let me share the screen.
I am stop sharing my screen. You can.
Okay, so there is Primavera Complete. This is the one we went through. Then there's also Foundation. So for Foundation, this one only covers like the basics of Primavera. So you can see the introduction, then you also look at the calendar.
Okay.
Then we look at the WBS activities. Yeah, but you can see that when you scroll down, also this one ends at only 10 sessions, but this one goes up to 15 sessions. So there are some topics which are missing in basics, in the Primavera Foundation, which are only available in a Primavera Complete. Hope that is it.
I can say that for the students who are just about to start this Primavera, they can go for the Primavera Foundation course. But the professionals who are already dealing with the projects, if they would like to go, I can propose only the Primavera Complete to them. This is what the main difference is. Mr. Alex, I hope you got the clear aspects.
Yes, yes, it's okay. It's okay on my side. Thank you.
Welcome. Anybody else who would like to ask any other question? If there is no questions, then we are going to wind up this session here. I hope everybody has already shared their details with us for everything. I have already informed in the chat group, right? Please share your details so that we can share the recordings and the participation certificate for this orientation to all of you. We are available at CAT Center, Uma Showgrounds, bypass. Anybody would like to come and visit us, we are there. Already Susan has sending you the messages. Miss Susan would be there to handle all those things. So you have her number, you have our number as well. You receive the mails and the messages from Susan. Kindly contact Susan. If you have any queries, you want to contact us directly, visit us at UMA Showgrounds. Is it okay for everyone? Anything else, Diana? You want to ask something?
Not really. I just want to appreciate you guys for thinking about us and inviting us to each of these classes. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Diana. And I would like to thank you, all of you, for attending this orientation session and make it successful. We are looking forward you guys as an participants and a part of the family. So please let us know when can you or you would like to join our course. The course date is about to start on this 14th of October, then it is 21st of November. So please let us know if you are interested in the October batch. People who would like to go for weekend batches, that may be a customized batch, we can arrange a weekday batch or the evening batch for all of you. So please contact us on that part. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope our last, I should say bye to everyone. Bye-bye, everyone. Anything, anyone? Yes, please, Mr. Rotswa. Hello. Hello. Anybody who would like to talk? Mr. Erasmus, you want to talk? Is there anybody? Mr. Rotswa, you want to talk?
Yeah, it's just a word of appreciation. I will get to you. I would like to probably join the first session, but I'll confirm with you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rotswa. We will be waiting for your call, and our team will be follow up with you all. Ms. Susan will follow up with you all regarding the same. Anything you need, we will be there. I would also call you, just come once, visit us. For the face-to-face orientation, we are always ready. We are here from Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, Saturday, Sunday from 8 to 1. So we are open on weekends, we are open on weekdays. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. Have a good weekend to all of you. Bye-bye. Take care.
This weekend too. Bye.
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 Bye.